Hello everyone, it's Lel, and today we're going to talk about Sailor Moon Cosmos. Most specifically, something that the director of the movie has said about the villains that has made me super excited for this. But before we talk about this, let us contextualize a little bit. NHK World Japan made a Sailor Moon special titled Inheriting the Sailor Crystal, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Special. It shares lots of great information concerning Sailor Moon as a franchise, its impact in lives of fans, its creation, and some interesting tidbits, like the reason behind the change from Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon to Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon in the English title of the franchise. This special is featured on the NHK World website, and I'm gonna leave the link to it on the comments of this video. I don't know if it's gonna be there for a long time, so if you're watching this as it uploads and you wanna watch it, please watch it. You're gonna love it. Go watch it as fast as you can. It's a great special, a little less than 30 minutes. It's amazing. But in this video, we are going to focus on a little section of this special in which the director, Tomoya Takahashi, the man who is directing Sailor Moon Cosmos, Tomoya Takahashi, talked about the experience of directing the movie, and he shared some interesting views on how he feels about this specific saga. Sailor Moon Cosmos is going to adapt in movie format the last saga of the Sailor Moon manga, the Stars arc. It is particularly my favorite. It wasn't my favorite before, but after I grew older and reread the manga a couple of times, it became my absolute favorite part of the Sailor Moon story. Tomoya Takahashi talked about the experience of directing the movie and some of the choices that were made narrative-wise. But before we talk about that, let's just say that the director himself watched Sailor Moon as a kid and in the 90s, and he was inspired by Sailor Moon to enter the animation world. Just to imagine how important it is for a person who watched Sailor Moon as a kid, was inspired by Sailor Moon as a kid, to work on a Sailor Moon movie as a director. Come on. This must be really huge, and I'm very happy for him. He said that the enemies from this particular saga are all haunted by their tragic pasts, and he sees them as girls who couldn't become Usagi. He said he wanted to put the focus on the enemy characters, and that having those girls vocalize their hardships should make it relatable for a lot of people. He also said that he wants to evoke this sense of nostalgia by using colors reminiscent of the 90s anime that he used to watch on TV when he was a kid. 2 setting boards were shown, and he said his goal was to create a color palette we wouldn't see in the real world. One of the things that really called my attention when we started seeing things from Sailor Moon Cosmos was the first poster. It is really beautiful. I love it, and the colorization of it really highlights the drama and the nostalgia that this arc gives me. I don't know really how to explain that. And those 2 board settings that were shown were also super beautiful visually. It is really a treat to the eyes. And we also have some words from Kazuko Tadano, who is working on the character design again. She was Sailor Moon Eternal's character designer, and she's also the character designer for Sailor Moon Cosmos. It's going to follow the same character design in both movies. And she said that Naoko herself requested a unique pattern for those designs, so she added a little bit of purple on Sailor Moon's eyes, and the lines are now more precise than ever. So let me dive a little bit on what the director has said about the villains of this arc, the enemies of this arc. The first thing I really love about what he said is the villains, that he noticed that the enemies from this saga are girls who couldn't become Usagi. So I love this. I never really saw them this way, but after seeing this, I can really understand. And in the Stars arc, we have lots of enemies. We have Galaxia, who is the main villain of this part, but we have lots of others too. And it's interesting because in the 90s anime, 5 of them were cut off, and they're definitely going to appear now. I mean, all of the ones that were featured in the Stars anime are going to be in the Cosmos movies for sure, but there are others. And in some cases, we can see their suffering, their drama, what they're going through, and why they became corrupted sailors. This is something that, based on his words, is going to be highlighted into the movies. We're definitely going to see a lot of the drama of Sailor Leth and Sailor Mnemosyne, who are my favorites of this part, and I really love their story. I absolutely love it. And maybe we're gonna see a little bit more on Team Nyanko, for example, who is super relevant in a way. I mean, her lore is kind of relevant for us to understand a little bit more from where Luna and Artemis come from. And there's also Sailor Lead Crow, for example, who is relevant to Phobos and Deimos from Sailor Mars. And Sailor Galaxia, who has a super strong, powerful, and dramatic storyline, which is, by the way, very different from the 90s anime as well. So I feel like this director is going to be able to highlight all of that, while probably also highlighting the tension, the drama, and the solitude from Usagi in this arc, because Usagi is going to go through some really tough times. And this made me even more excited for Sailor Moon Cosmos. I cannot wait for a second trailer. I cannot wait for a release date. I cannot wait for maybe an international release date as well. Girl, just learning that made me feel so happy, and I feel like we're in such good hands for this movie. The villains are really incredible, and if he is able to highlight the intensity of their dramas, it's going to be amazing. And it's interesting because when you read the manga, their passages are very fast. We don't see them very much because the manga is very fast paced. And in the movies, he's probably not going to have much time to work on each of the villains. But he's probably found a way of doing that, maybe through voice acting, close-ups, expressions, and even some fast flashbacks. I think we're onto something great here, and I feel like Sailor Moon Cosmos is going to be a breakthrough for us Sailor Moon fans, because it's the last thing we're gonna have from this era, at least. I am excited. And remembering, if you haven't seen the NHK special, go watch it. It's incredible. Anyways, babies, this is all for now. Has this made you more excited for Cosmos? Because it really did for me. Anyways, I'm going now and I'm taking my leave. Thanking the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for believing in Magical Cinnamon. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.